Hello guys, my name is Jimmy Kidavasi Kinambedi, married to my wife here, Evelyn. I am an IT guy. I'm also a preacher, preacher of the Word of God, and I'm happy to be here.
Evelyn Murithi Kinambedi. Actually, I'm married to Jim. We are very new in marriage, and we are believing God for a good marriage. I'm a secretary by profession, but apparently I'm in business. Yeah.
We met at Deliverance Church Kitengela. That is in the year 2009. She used to be a praise and worship leader in the main church, praise and worship member in the main church, and I used to just be another guy around. I was a joker, maybe to say the least. Yeah.
When I first met Jimmy, I didn't think that he could be anywhere around being my husband, because at that time I thought he was not my type.
Oh,
yeah, because we actually didn't talk a lot.
See your life now.
And with time, we became friends because we were fellowshipping in the same church. Yeah.
Actually, things got better when now, I think in the year, is it 2010?
2012.
2012, when we now got our own youth service. So we now stepped out of the main church, went to our youth sanctuary, where she became one of the praise and worship leaders. I became the coordinator of the youth ministry. So from there, we could just see one another. But nothing near being in a relationship or something of the sort. Yeah, but now coming to the bit of getting into a relationship, it's actually happened in the year 2013.
Yeah, 2013.
In the year 2013, I met her at a shop. This time I was just from work, and I found her there. She looked very sad.
Okay, at that time I was very frustrated at where I was working, and then I decided to resign. So at that day I had opened a new bill, and he was my first customer. He bought something for his mother and prayed honestly for that business to expand. And I could really wonder, this brother has really played a lot.
Actually, I've tried to explain to myself what happened that day. I really can't say, because I felt this kind, I don't know what to call it. I don't want to use the word pity. I don't want to say I was sad, but I felt something.
We became fond of one another, because when anytime that he could not pass by, I could feel like, I
was actually waiting for that point.
Yeah.
I thought you would not say it, because the time that I would not pass by, actually there's a day that I came around, and I didn't just come direct. So I was like checking the area, because it was an open field, so you could see the neck, she's looking for someone.
I was looking around. I knew that this is the time this guy passes by here, and he's nowhere to be found. And I was wondering, where did I go wrong?
Yeah. Then one day, just after work, I decided to take her out just to have dinner. So the first instance I asked, she actually rejected. She said, no, I've just cooked in the house. I'm just going to eat. On the I think the third trial, she accepted to go for the dinner. And then that day, apparently, I just been paid. So I was feeling money like her. So I took her somewhere. It was quite expensive at that time. So as we were about to order, she actually started stating that this hotel is too expensive, so we need to move. So the first one, I asked her, oh, you sure you want? Yeah, we just have to move from this. Let's go to the next one. So we went to the next hotel. She was also adamant about that, but at this time I had to show that it's no problem, you know. So unajua mwanaume ni kujikaza. Unaweza kuwa unaumia lakini sasa ile unatafuta tu unajikaza. So I said, no, we have to have dinner here. So it was a nice first experience. We were nearing December, and I decided that before the next year, that is before 2014, I must have popped. I will try and pop the question.
Jimmy started telling me, can we go to prayer center? You know, it is always good to pray for our ministries, blah, blah, blah. And then he told me, will you mind to accompany me? I told him, no, because I had not planned. You go, I'll follow you the next day.
Yeah.
And that is what happened. He went, and I followed him the next day.
So you can imagine the prayers that were going on the first day without her. Father, I call her. Disturb her to come.
No, we went prayed, and we prayed general prayers with no strings attached. And then now when I am at home, Jimmy calls me and tells me that, you know what, I want to talk to you. I told him, talk. I really want to talk something. I told him, we usually talk. What is this that you're not telling me? Right on phone.
Oh, she was being hard.
I actually had to make excuses
At home.
at home for me to come back, because they knew that I was with them.
Things we do for love.
I was going to spend even more days there. But I came. We met. He asked. I didn't expect to be that soon, but yeah, he asked.
Actually, you need to compliment me. I was straight to the point. I didn't like go around the bush. I just said, you know what? I love you. And I think what is going on here needs to be formalized as soon as possible. I said, I want you to be my girlfriend, and I'm actually thinking of marrying you very soon. So she told me that she's not going to answer me now. And in my mind, I'm like, I need the answer before the next year. So I remember we went for the Kesha, the crossing over Kesha, and the man of God was declaring things at the front, saying that this is your year. So you can imagine why I was saying amen, yeah, clearly. I don't know how she knew it, but it was just before 12 there, she gave me the answer. And what I wanted actually came to pass, that before the next year, she was my girlfriend. Yeah, so I was a very, very happy man.
In 2014, we decided that we can start planning for our wedding. We actually wanted it to happen at a later date in 2014. Actually, it was August.
Yeah, just after I got the job. Yeah. So we started the planning, and actually one thing about Eva, she's those ladies, maybe if you're in church, you know those ladies who you're told they are hard, you can't really get to them. So she was like that, you can't really talk to them. So she's actually straight to the point. So I remember her asking me, so after this, what next? Yeah, I'm your girlfriend, yeah. So what's the next step? So the next step was clear, that I want to get married, because my history not so good when it comes to relationship and all those things, and clearly I'd made so many mistakes. So I was like, in this particular relationship, I'm not gonna make any kind of a mistake, and I wanted to settle down as soon as possible. So at that time, I remember we were so much in a hurry. We were so much eager to get married. Even at a point, we started being rebellious. We were like, you know what, we're going to do this thing. You know how you'd continue with plans and you've not talked to many people. You just start doing it. Actually looked very confused. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that year. But also fortunately, that is where I want to thank God, because at the end of the day, we know that these plans are not ours. They are completely His. So we kept on trusting on God. So when it came to 2015, we brought up the issue again. We wanted to start all over again. Still, we hit the same roadblocks. Nothing was working out. Even to get to a point whereby we decided, you know what, the money that we've accumulated and want to like get married, let's start a business. So we started a restaurant. We were selling fast food, so we were selling chips and all those things. But in that area, it wasn't really doing so well, and the rent was too high. So you can imagine how you're not selling much and high rent. So you have like a deni this month, the next month and the next, until you're forced out of business completely. So it was very, you could imagine the combination of these two frustrations. You wanted to get married, the money you had, you've used it on the business, and it is not working out. So it was a serious challenge. Actually, we actually were getting to a place where we were getting bitter about it. You know, that time you'd even look around and you think, you know, we could just hold our hands and walk away. So one of the clear things that was happening, we had now started learning so much about one another without knowing. So I want to bring the positives out of that challenge. We had now known that, I had now known how good she is with money. She actually knew how good I am with money. We actually had moved from separate accounts to one joint account. So we just used to handle all finances together. I remember that time is when I moved out of my father's house to where I was staying. And we remember, you think how it was very okay to like handle things synchronized, whereby you're paying this here, you're paying that there, and you can look at the money that you have. All what was on our mind was that our wedding would be anytime soon.
It backfired twice.
Yeah. And you know, it backfires in this way. You know the way you create WhatsApp groups and you put people, and they stay there. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they start lifting one by one.
Yeah.
And then when you go to church, everybody is asking what happened.
You guys
are you getting married, or
did you change your mind?
Did you change your mind? All sorts of questions until I decided, you know what, you're not going to put pressure on me. I'm going to take my sweet time, and then when I am ready, I'm going to tell you when the wedding is going to happen.
God was actually giving us some time to develop character in our relationship, because now I got to know things about her that maybe I would have taken so much time to know. Actually, she looks talkative right now, but imagine that lady that does not talk. So you can see where I'm coming from. You're from campus, you just got a job, you are hyper, you used to do all those things that are not good before you got born again, and you know so much. Now here comes a lady, the number one, has not done anything of that sort, not gone out ever. Or there's a day that I don't know about, not even once. She does not do things like makeup, I don't know what. She's not like outgoing. You know the things that would excite you. You say, let's twende out to do even like, to do alafu. So I'm actually getting her to be my wife in the future. And I am this super hyper sanguine, this guy that talks too much with a lot of jokes, and she's calm. So as we kept on staying together, something started forming in her. She actually now started behaving the same way I am. Now we make stories, we laugh. Actually, she makes jokes better than mine these days. I'm even jealous. She actually makes better jokes than mine. We laugh at it. The lady that would not talk to anyone, actually guys started asking me, what have you done to Eva? Eva used to be so quiet. But I just told them, I don't know what is happening. But I think that period that we had, we really bonded a lot. And love grew stronger and stronger.
We were telling each other that no matter what happens, we know that if God started this, He's going to accomplish it. Actually, the word of the Lord was a pillar to our relationship, because if we had not, we have not known the word, we could have separated long time ago, because it is not that we didn't have frictions here and there. We actually had frictions, and actually you could start asking yourself, wow, is this right? Am I in the right place?
You like have this lady that you love, and you want her to be pleasing to the outside world. You don't even care about her in the way, in things like maybe she does not do some type of dressing, and I'm like, ladies of this era are doing this kind of dressing, so why are you not doing that kind of a dressing? And she'll tell me, me I don't do those things. So I'm like, well, huyu itabidi hii storo itoke mpaka nina jam. I would want her to be fast on some issues, but she's a lady that would take time even to make a decision. But me, I'm chap. I'll just look at an issue. This is the issue, this is the solution, very quickly. But for her, she would take time. And I actually wanted her to look good in my eyes and also in the eyes of others. But there's something that I learned, still from Pastor George, and he said something: you don't marry your lady for the world, you marry your lady for you. So we have to like shut the eyes of the world so that we can begin to see the real beauty that is in the person that is next to us.
When he was saying like you should you should be dressed in this and this and that, I usually told him, when you first met me, when you first met me,
clearly,
I didn't, you didn't find me wearing this or that. And you cannot come in my life, invade my space, everything. As a lady, sometimes you really need to be yourself. Because when you allow yourself to be influenced by what is happening around you, and when you see other people doing this, you want to do exactly like them. It is good to pick what is good and to do away with what is not interesting. So what is disturbing many people is lack of identity. Because when you do not, you have lost your identity, you would want to identify yourself with another person, and in that way you'll be living a lie, because you'll not be yourself. You want to emulate somebody because I saw someone piercing their umbilical cord, I go ahead and do it. I don't know why that person did that. Everybody has their own reason of doing anything that they do in life. Know who you are, but don't just look around and collect every garbage that comes on your eyes. You need to have your own identity, because when you have your identity, you'll not be polluted by many things that are happening nowadays in the world.
Like a filter.
Yeah, you can feel, you filter what is important, you take, what is not important you throw away.
Yeah.
Because you'll find yourself in a mess if you just follow just anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2018 April, I went for the dowry payment.
Yeah.
After that was done, now it started dawning to me, by the way, you are getting married. So
after the dowry payment, we placed a date that was 4th of August. Yeah.
That is this year.
Yeah. August. And then the pre-wedding happened. We got some amount here and there, and then we decided from what we have maybe collected from the pre-wedding, from our friends, from the little money that we had saved. Yeah, we said we can push on to
the
placing
wedding.
on a wedding date, and it was 1st of September.
So the wedding was to start at exactly 10. So I was in church by 9. Actually, the morning shoot, mine was done in church because clearly the camera guy was late. And Eva side, maybe she can tell us what happened that morning.
That morning was, I felt a bit tense because I was wondering now. I don't like when the concentration is clearly on me. And I was wondering, now today I don't have, there is no shortcut. Everybody will be looking at me. Everybody would want to see how is the bride, the gown she's putting on, blah blah blah, everything. When mom came, she actually prayed for me, and also dad encouraged me, and they were so happy. And seeing how happy they were, the tension disappeared. And we went to church. The ceremony was wonderful, and everything went well.
The bridal team represented well. They danced their way to the front, and then the person I was waiting for, she was looking lovely that day. I've never seen you in makeup, so I was like, hey, this is enhanced beauty. Yeah, so as she was coming in, I was just gazing, tongue-tied. I was feeling all, let me say, a lot of things, happy, at the same time, you know, that time when you're just feeling everything at a go. So the service began, we danced. After that, a serious worship came. As that worship came, I just felt tears just rolling down my eyes, because within a split of a second, I remembered the beat of time from 2014 to 2018. And I said, God, thank you. Thank you so much. That's how I couldn't even believe. I just felt some peace in me and say, God, indeed, things may tarry, but He is faithful to bring them to pass.
One thing that I love about God, He is all-knowing and He knows the plans that He has for us, not to harm us, but to give us a hope and a future. And that in that manner, I would love to say that when things are not working out as you have arranged them to happen, just be humble before the Lord and just calm down. Consult God. You tell Him, this I had planned this and this, but this and this has happened. So what should I do from there?
There is this word we use, love, and love is foundational. Even the scripture says, if I do all those things, like speaking in tongues, casting out demons, but I do not even have love, then it is of nothing. Love is the one word that has been equated to a name that is of God. Actually, God says, is it in 1 John 4:8? He says that you need to love one another. Whoever does not love is not of God. Why? Because God is love. So when you begin to understand where love comes from, we know that it is actually divine to love. So if God is love and you're made in the image of God, then it means you're made of love. Now this same love is what is graduating to what we do in the institution of marriage. Why? What are husbands told to do? You're told to love your wife like Christ did what? Loved the church. It means that I need to love this lady enough that I'm willing to even die for her. But is it the case today? No. So the first thing that you need to know, even as you plan to get married, what is the condition of your heart? You need to train yourself in the ways of love. That God needs to install genuine love in you, and you begin to start loving your partner, even as you love yourself. There are no experts in relationship. There are no experts in marriage, because every single marriage is a different experience. You'll never find another Eva anywhere else. You never find another Jim anywhere else. What you have is yours. So if you try to treat her the way I do, Eva, you might end up in a problem, because maybe he or she does not like that direction. So if there are no experts, it means that we have to learn from the one manual, and that is God, that He gave and say, you know what? I need you to do what? To love this neighbor.
Lean not on your own understanding, because when you lean on your own understanding, sometimes you get lost. Do not give yourself a lot of pressure. Everybody has their own timing. Don't compare your life to anybody else's life, because when you compare to your life with anybody's else's life, you'll be at haste to do something that could really hurt you in the future. So you get relaxed and know that God is in control.
You define your relationship, especially as a man. What you choose to call your wife, that is what she becomes. Some say they have stupid wives. I can never say that in my life. Some say they have people that can, my wife is stubborn. I can never say that, because whatever Adam said that moment did what? It became. So it actually means that if ever I'm to hurt this lady, I'm committing suicide. And that kind of love is what is actually missing in marriage. And I want to finish and say this: as you plan for marriage, stop listening to advices. When people start telling you marriage is not a bed of roses, this statement is being used every other day. And you know what? It's like they're threatening you. It's like, you will see it when you get there. But I want to advise someone today. You were not looking for a bed when you came for marriage. You're just looking to get married. You want to stay with that person, that wife of your youth. Do this. Define your own give your own definition of marriage. You want to walk around. Like us, we have a habit of holding hands in town, wherever. We don't mind. Hold hands. Do whatever you want to do. Define your moment in marriage. And I know some may say, you're still young. You'll get there. But you see, anything that has an end had a beginning. If you're quarreling, it had a beginning. If you're fighting, it had a beginning. There are no perfect or ideal situations. We are the ones who have the power to create that ideal situation. And I have one prayer for so many people out there. I'm believing that we can start a revival or a movement and declare that actually marriage works. We are living in an era where people think having 2 or 3 side dishes makes you relevant, makes you better. But I want to say it actually just makes you a fool, because if you think you can divide yourself and appropriately attend to more than one person, you're actually trying to say you can form yourself together with more than one person. That will kill you, that will exhaust you. So people actually need to learn that God has given a direction in marriage, and he says 2 shall come together and become one. And this 2 is a man and a woman. The rest, I don't know where it came from, but I just leave it up to them. And I pray that they follow the direction, because Christ says, take it back to how it was from the beginning. And the beginning was Genesis. And it says, a man shall leave his father's house, be joined to the woman, and together they shall become one. Yeah.